And that's why oftentimes I just don't ask any at all.
Because of the,
Yeah.
because of the negative response that you might receive.
Yeah, I don't ask wanting to hear or expecting to hear. No, I think that it is stupid to ask somebody for something expecting them to say no. So most times I just
don't ask.
I just don't ask you.
Okay. How is the marriage now?
It's in shambles.
Are you working on it?
Yeah.
Counseling?
Have done that, but it didn't go so well.
It didn't go so well?
No. So
how do you feel about it?
About counseling?
No, about where your marriage is right now.
There are certain things that happen that could have been avoided, and certain responses that, if handled better, it would have seen us in a much better place. I try not to live a life of regret, but in saying same, I also, when I reflect on all of the things that have happened and how it could have been handled better, I learn my lessons, and I try to ensure that going forward there isn't a repeat. Most
repeat
of the
in the same mistake in the marriage?
Same mistake in the marriage.
Okay.
Not only in the marriage, but also say it shouldn't work out then
right
with somebody else.
Okay, so you're working on it then. You guys working on it. You look hesitant.
Well, not necessarily hesitant. If it is one thing that I have always done, and I think it is very important, or if it's the one good thing that I can ever do for my wife, whether or not we are together, is to always protect her.
Your daughter?
Not only my daughter, but my wife is my responsibility. Regardless of whether or not we are together. She's the mother of my one and only child, because I do not want any more children. Emotionally, I am exhausted.
You're exhausted emotionally?
Yeah, and financially, I cannot afford another child.
When you say you're emotionally exhausted, describe that to me.
Meaning being there, because being present, I am not a very present person. I'm always thinking. I spend a lot of time in my head, and having a 3-year-old who needs you to be there.
This is what I find really interesting. That what you just said a while ago, that's me. That's how I am. And I have a few other friends that are the exact same. And when they describe what you're saying right now, that's the sentence they use. I live in my head. And then when you live in your head, the rest of the world is going by, and you're not noticing it.
But they notice that you are not noticing.
Yeah. I interviewed a friend of mine, and we talked about his daughter. And he said that, in the interview, he said, I don't know if you saw it, in the interview, he said that he doesn't always go around his daughter because sometimes he's in his head. And it's not all the time he would want to be around her. Some persons took it the wrong way about the point he was getting at. But what he was trying to say is, if I am not there, here,
I can't be there physically.
And when he's here, he has to get out of here first in order to get back with what's happening in front of him. And I think persons think it's easy. Like for me, it's hard. When I'm in my head, I'm in my head. I can't come out. It's almost like a prison to a certain extent. And then anybody that say anything to me during that time, I'm so agitated.
I can be a real ass. But I do my best. I do my best to ensure that I play time with her. I put my all into it. Sometimes I honestly do not want to, but I understand the importance of a father because I didn't have one.
Yeah.
Well, I had a father, but I never had a male figure present there every single day.
That's almost every child's Jamaican story.
And I don't want my child to ever have that. And that's one of the things, or one of the reasons why I don't want another child, especially a son, because I don't think I can teach a boy to be a man, especially with the culture that we have ingrained
Right.
in it, generations upon generations. I think I will do my best with the one child that I have, giving her everything that I can, not just financially, because I have a thing where I must provide. I know that. And sometimes we say as men, if we are not providing, then what's the purpose? What's the use of us? But it's not only the provisions, physical provisions, but it's the presence, it's the listening ear, it's the hugs and the kisses, and it's the telling her that you're beautiful and I love you. Because if you don't do that, some other drunker out there is going to do it.
It's true.
And then you are going to end up in prison because you have to kill a nigga for your child. And I don't want that
Facts.
to happen.
Facts.
Okay?
I said something to my friend at his baby shower and his daughter. He had a daughter recently, my goddaughter. I said at the baby shower that set the standard so high that any man that comes along can't meet it. They can try, but they can't meet it. Let her know what the highest standard is, so she know how to gauge whichever man come in her life. And I always believe that. I believe that with a man and his daughter, I mean son as well, but daughter, I feel like a man should always, the father should always set the highest standard.
That's very true. And from that notion,